Sure, it was difficult, but you are worth it. I mean, after all, I am your biggest fan.
So, Superman Reborn is honestly amazing and one of the best stories to read in DC Rebirth. So up until now, we've seen Tomasi and Jurgens write Superman in Action Comics, and it's been great, and the two stories themselves have seemed to really play off of each other, in the sense that each one sets up a relationship and plays off of that relationship really well in its own book. So Superman, for example, is really about the Kent family, and Action Comics is about Superman. So whenever one of those aspects comes in, it really feels like, okay, this works very well with the tone set in Superman or Action Comics. And this was a major complaint we saw in New 52 in regards to these books, because before there was lack of cohesion between them, and Superman Reborn is the first time the two books tell a story together, because this story is important. And as a critique for New 52, this was something that I never quite liked. So when you have an event that spans multiple books, New 52 liked to do this sort of idea of it spanning not just two books. Oh no, it spanned multiple books. Trinity War, for example. Trinity War spanned Justice League New 52, Justice League of America, Justice League Dark, and then it spawned Forever Evil, and I think it spanned another book too, but I forget what it was. So it was 4 books. So you had to read 3 books as they were coming out, and then another book. And it was too much of a hassle just to go back to reading just Justice League. Justice League of America was legitimately created, in my mind, just for Trinity War, and that was annoying. Green Lantern had the same problem, not just under Jeff Johns during his final run with the Third Army, but even later with Lights Out, with what was it? The Anti-Life thing with the New Gods. It was a weird thing. I didn't go back to it. Maybe I will one day. But anyway. So this is one of the first 2 stories we get where multiple books go over. The first one was Detective Comics and Batman, which was Night of the Monster Man. That one was really important. But this one here, this is important, because this story is told in 2 different comics, though we're going to just focus on the story itself and skip some points that may be interesting, but not further the story itself. So this story really starts off with the mystery of Reporter Kent. So since his appearance during the fight with Doomsday, he's been hard to figure out. Remember that before his appearance, everyone knew that Clark Kent was the New 52 Superman, and our pre-Flashpoint Superman confirmed his death, but also that this Reporter Kent is, as far as we know, actually Clark Kent. We've gone through his memories, we've scanned him. This is a human named Clark Kent. He has memories of Smallville, he has memories with his parents, he has memories of Lana Lang. He checks out. And after an event where he jeopardized Lois' undercover work, he's apparently inspired to ask Lois out, and wanting to find out more about him, she says yes, but because the mystery of him only gets deeper. Following him one day, he doesn't seem to be bothered by the rain, he eats like a child, and despite going into his apartment building, no one has seen him in months, and he doesn't even show up on security camera, so something is weird. And the dinner goes about as well as one would think. It goes from weird to creepy pretty quick. When Reporter Kent goes over the top with a limo and a private table at a high-end restaurant, and proposing even before the appetizer arrives. To which Lois just goes,
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
And Reporter Kent decides to follow, but not after giving a really cringy line like, Lois, I promise, I'll be good. I'm like, no, that is no. And so after Lois leaves, he decides to follow, and he follows her all the way to Hamilton, and finds out that he is married to Superman, and that John isn't the son of her cousin, but her actual son, and he has this weird sort of breakdown as he remembers something and goes full psycho. So now we skip to the story in Hamilton, and the Kent family celebrating the anniversary of Clark and Lois's marriage, and the issue really sells how important John is to them, and it makes sense, as you could view John as a culmination not only of their love for each other, but their old life. So it's important to note that John is essentially a miracle child, and I don't mean the fact that Lois never thought Lois could conceive. It was never even a possibility that she could conceive with Clark. You know, he's got all this solar radiation, Kryptonian biology. It was just never something they thought could happen. And when they were under the dome in Convergence for that long, it was able to happen. So this wasn't even a 1 in a million shot. This was an impossibility that this could ever come up. So they love this kid, all right? he is the child they never thought they could have. Then, of course, it's all interrupted by reporter Kent showing up and leaving a photo album of the Kent family, and then the house engulfed in a blue flame that can't be put out, and it doesn't burn, but it seems to erase whatever it touches, and it latches on to John, who keeps disappearing as they try to get him out of the house, or even hold on to him. Even when they get him out of the house, the fire keeps spreading, and he starts to fade, and it's scary. And it's a scary scene. As he finally disappears, John Kent is missing, and the reporter Kent seems to be behind it. So all war is declared now. They head to the apartment to find it mostly unlived and save for large amounts of junk food in the kitchen, and reporter Kent just all of a sudden just shows up. And the interrogation begins with Kent saying that Superman didn't save him and that Superman let him down. Kent tries to let him guess who he is, turning into Luthor, Bizarro, Brainiac, Mongol, Parasite, Cyborg, Superman, and Doomsday before they figure out who the enemy is. It's Mr. Mxyzptlk. I'm going to get that name wrong a lot here, but whatever. He's from the 5th dimension, and since Superman forgot about him, he will make everyone forget John unless Superman agrees to play another game with him. Already, Mxyzptlk has made Lois forget not just John, but Superman as her husband. Then it is through John, being kept by Mxyzptlk, that we find out exactly what happened to him. So the premise behind old Mixie's is that every 90 days he squares off with Superman, Superman defeats him, and it kept going. Superman tricks him into saying his name or spelling his name, and, he goes back. And it goes on and on and on. It's sort of like a friendly version of Joker and Batman's rivalry. It's, hey, I come in, I mess some stuff up, and then we go. The difference is, unlike Joker, I'm not a sociopath. I'm not a homicidal maniac clown, One time he showed up, but then was sent somewhere else, and he was met by Mr. Oz. And we've seen Mr. Oz a lot here. Remember, he's the one that told Clark that there was something else something strange about him and his family. He was the one that took Doomsday. He's the one that took Prophecy. In Detective Comics, he took Tim Drake. So now he apparently took Mxyzptlk. And he told him he was being kept here because he might upset whatever plans Mr. Oz is making. Mxyzptlk isn't concerned, as not only does he have a hot girlfriend, really, she's hot. Also, Batman who will save him, but Superman will definitely save him before any of that, because Superman was expecting him, and that he'll be saved any minute. So he waits, and he waits, and he waits, before he comes to the conclusion that Superman didn't care about him. So he breaks out himself, almost killing himself, and he turns into reporter Kent, even tricking himself into thinking he was always Clark Kent, and it wasn't until people outed Superman as Clark Kent, Superman dying and Superman returning, did he realize something was off, and then he remembered seeing John with Superman and Lois and Hamilton. He remembered, and he was angry and hurt because Mxyzptlk, as a 5th dimension imp, sees every reality out there. The cartoons, the movies, the Elseworlds, even the Lego stuff, and he knows that he and Superman matter, but now he realized that he never mattered to Superman, so it's done. So he will keep John here and make sure everyone forgets him, just like Superman forgot about him. And this is kind of heavy. This is some Syndrome from the Incredibles madness. This is what was that Ruby? Not Ruby, Spinell from Steven Universe. Like this is crazy. So anyway, Superman gets Mxyzptlk to play one final game with him, but he points out that this game won't be like the others. The others they played for years. Like, no, this won't be a simple, fun, happy-go-lucky, you're just a little crazy. No, this is a different game. This will be the last game. He brings him to the in-between, a personal dimension with blue light that is Superman's inner essence, and that it's blue because he was split in two when the hope and optimism was removed from the DC universe. So, he was actually split in two, but that's weird, because if he was split in two, then that means he can't be the pre-Flashpoint Superman. So that's weird. But that means a pre-Flashpoint Superman was split in two, and that this one was sent to the Dome, and that the red was left in the New 52. Okay, whatever. We'll just be confused about that. But anyway. The rules of this game is that Superman must reach the top of the Infinite Planet. If he does, John will be released and Mxyzptlk will go away. But if he doesn't, John stays and Superman and Lois will be forgotten. The trick is reaching the top is the trick to reaching the top is the higher they go, the more Superman will forget. John, meanwhile, is inside the Daily Planet logo and comes across two red lights that feel like his parents but different. Superman reaches the top. It's not a big challenge here to get up the top. It's pretty straightforward, but that was the trick. In the same way that in the Hobbit trilogy, the dwarves were never meant to reach Erebor, Superman was always meant to reach the top of the planet. The trick is, though, Mxyzptlk says, yeah, I signed a contract, but I don't quite remember the contract, so who did I have to turn over? Superman can't remember. He can't even remember his son's name, and this makes John accidentally activate the red lights that turn out to be the Superman and Lois from New 52 continuity, but the pre-Flashpoint are nowhere to be seen. John accuses Mxyzptlk of doing this, but he reveals that that's beyond his power. He can only manipulate what is there, and someone else did the original split. John attempted to fix his dad's memories, but all he did was switch the Rebirth Superman and Lois out with the New 52 one. So instead of parents that forgot him, they legitimately never were his parents. They don't know him. This Superman and Lois were never together. They never a couple. They never got married, which means they never did the deed that led to John being born. So, yeah, this is kind of mess. This is some heavy stuff. This is some heavy, heavy stuff. Mxyzptlk prepares to leave because, hey, you know what? This is done. It's gotten crazy. I'm going to leave. But New 52 Superman, he wants answers, but Mxyzptlk says that there is something scarier that will more than likely come now that all this chaos has happened. The architect of all this weirdness is here, and he is much more powerful than Mxyzptlk. John finds the two blue orbs similar to the red ones that held the New 52 Superman and Lois and uses them to push Mxyzptlk back, and he offers John a choice. Leave him or stay behind, where this is probably all going to come crashing down. John chooses to stay. As the dimension starts to crumble, John begs New 52 Superman and Lois to believe who he is, and with a lot of emotional prodding and a lot of really tense, like John is about to cry, and it has to be the most emotionally tormenting thing ever to the people who you've built your world, not just your parents, but people who you've aspired to be, who have raised you, who've made it important to tell you how much they love you. They don't know you. They don't recognize you. They're convinced that you are not their child. So John's able to convince them, and instead of switching with Blue Superman and Lois, they fuse together. Mr. Rogers is watching from his weird space tower thing and points out that no one, not even the mysterious him, could have predicted that Lois, John, and Superman could fix the changes made. This fusion leads to a change of continuity. The New 52 Superman and Lois, pre-Flashpoint Superman and Lois, are gone, and in its place are these new versions with a new continuity that is both different and familiar to everyone. As Superman and family fly off, Mr. Oz wonders if this new reality, does Superman have the final say, or does the grand architect behind all of this do? And that's how it ends. So Superman Reborn is heavy. Alright, it is emotional, it is frightening, it is a roller coaster of events, and it used Mxyzptlk, the Gilbert Gottfried. I love that it's Gilbert Gottfried, to make this story happen, and it makes sense because in the same way that Infinite Crisis used Superboy Prime to represent the DC fanbase, you could argue Mxyzptlk is used to represent the DC fanbase for this one. The fanbase that felt lost and forgotten, that Superman, or in this case DC Comics, didn't care about the stories they liked. Rebirth was a return to that. But at the same time, what about the New 52 fans? Does this answer that question? Does this resolve that issue? No, because either decision will upset some people. Some people really like New 52 Superman. I personally didn't, but whatever. So this story here addresses the sort of weird issue and keeps in tune with the theme set by DC Rebirth. Because remember, the big thing about DC Rebirth was that the Flash didn't create New 52, something else did. Barry created Flashpoint. What created New 52? We know it's something large, blue, and ominous from an entirely different continuity, entirely different line of stories that are frightening. What about this arc really stands out? What about this story stands out outside the fact that it is two comics working together to tell a really interesting story that they both play off of rather well? Again, the Mxyzptlk angle works well. Seeing Mxyzptlk come back here as sort of like the fan that time forgot. I didn't leave DC Comics left me, was great. And again, the syndrome aspect, he loves Superman. This is his guy. He wants to, he doesn't want to be just like him, but he understands the relationship they have. No one understands Superman like I do. All right? And he forgot about him. But actually, he didn't. Superman knows who Mxyzptlk is. He didn't forget. He just didn't know where he was. So it's sort of weird. It's not even really a cop-out answer, but you can sort of guess how Mxyzptlk feels. And all of a sudden, this joke of a character has become this huge, colossal threat. It's no longer just about, messing with Superman's day and inconveniencing him for a bit. Like, no, this time it's personal. All bets are off. And I'm going to hurt you the same way that you hurt me. And that's really great in my mind. It's a great, fun story. It's got emotions, heart. John and Superman and Lois have these great emotional moments. Like, even when Lois forgets that she has a son and forgets that she is married to Superman, finding out that someone named John is gone resonates something within her, and she tears up. It's great. Reporter Kent is a frightening, crazy, insane person. And it's a great story because of it. Oh, the art on both books is great. These variant covers are great. Look at this one with Lois and Reporter Kent in the background. Like, that is some Lifetime movie madness. All right. Oh. This is one of the best events to come out of DC Rebirth. It is subtle. And by subtle, I mean, this was not something overly over-the-top announced. You just saw, like, hey, Superman Reborn's happening. This was another great attempt to get someone like, hey, you know what? I like this approach to Superman. I was only reading Action Comics, now I'm going to read Superman as well. That's what a team-up, a multi-book story should do. It should not just say, well, I want to continue. Like, no, I want to see what this other guy's doing now. I want to get more of this. And, yeah, so, what is the side effect of this massive change to the Superman universe? Because it will be revealed later on that the DC universe does shape itself to Superman. So, is it only his continuity that's changed? But because Superman is such an integral part of the DC universe, something else has to change too. Well, we'll find out next time. So anyway, with that in mind, we're going to bring this video to close here. If you are new to the Bucket Think Tank, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, check out some other videos, smash the thumbs up button, and I will catch you all later. This is the Bucket Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching, and as always, may your fandom serve you well.
Nuts! Nuts! Nuts!
He beat you again, huh?
Don't start with me, you spitlessness! I've only got 90 days until my next bout with that Tate Claude! How does he do it?
Mixie, I wore this new outfit just for you.
No time for love, babe. Gotta beat Superman. Gotta beat Superman.